Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching Concert Junkies, Rob and John. Oh yeah.
And we're live.
What's good?
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name's Kay Anagonio. I am in the band Matriarchs, and I do a lot of other solo things, including a project called Chasing Satellites. And yeah, stoked to be here.
So, first question is from Mandy Jackson from Dying Oath.
Dope.
What would you be doing if you were not playing if you weren't playing music?
I mean, that's an easy question to answer because I am a freelance videographer and photographer. So I would probably just be doing that. And that's what I was doing kind of before I did music. I tour with a band called the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. I create their tour content, daily photos, and we're doing 2 tour videos per tour. So we just launched episode 1, and we are about to launch episode 2, and then we've got 3, 4, and 5 and 6 already like almost done. And then we'll just keep doing that throughout the next year and into oblivion, into the future.
All right, I'm going to start you with a hard question here.
All right.
What do you want to leave as your legacy?
Wow, that is a hard question. I don't know, man. Like, I just want to make people feel something, like music is so powerful and we have the opportunity to, affect change, change lives, help people, give people something to hold on to. I mean, I remember like as a teenager listening to music and it got me through some really shitty times. So I think that I want to do the same for other people. That's kind of the legacy I want to have, or that I want to leave behind rather, is that I, helped people get through some of the harder shit that they have to go through.
If you could pick your own festival, 2-day festival, Friday would be all female acts, and Saturday would be Dead or Alive. Who are your we'll start with female fronted first.
All right, so gotta go with there's so many. OTEP, Evanescence, my homies in Rivals, my friends in the world over, and then you've got, there's so many amazing bands out there that are female fronted. Spirit Box, obviously. I actually had a dream the other night that I was like a foot away from shaking Courtney's hand from Spirit Box, and then I woke up and I was like, why is this happening to me? So I have to meet her in real life. Like it's got to happen at some point. I'd probably put Lacey Sturm on there. She was the singer for Flyleaf. She's a solo artist now. I've worked with her. She's amazing. There's so many amazing female fronted bands, but that's a few to name it. And then Dead or Alive, for the next day, I would have to say Linkin Park, bring Chester Bennington back. He was a huge influence on me. It'd be cool to see like, dang, oh my God, there's so many artists that I could think of. Let me see. It'd be cool to have like David Bowie, Nirvana. There's so many good artists out there, but definitely like Linkin Park is at the top of that list for sure. Chester Bennington was my main inspiration as like a clean singer growing up. So yeah, I would definitely say Linkin Park.
All right. Well, speaking of queens, and I don't know because I don't sing, but how do you transition? Like I'm saying the breathing or
yeah.
Like I always wondered how you can, or your method of like how can you control your breathing to start yelling and then
yeah, it's kind of hard
vocals.
to explain. Yeah, it's people ask me to like teach. First of all, people ask me to teach them how to scream all the time, and I like literally can't. I have no idea how I do it, so I don't know how to teach it. Like I feel like the first step of teaching is like mastering something, and so I haven't like quite mastered like how I do it as far as like what my body's doing. And Will Ramos from Lorna Shore just did like he just had a scope put down his throat while he screamed for like an hour. and he like went through every technique that he does, and they like talked about what his throat does and how he does all the techniques, and that was super fascinating. So like if people are interested, definitely check that out. But as far as like how I transitioned from like cleans to screams and back and forth live, I think it's just like a matter of where in your like torso that your breathing is coming from and that you're pushing from. So like screams can be more like chest and throat, and then singing is definitely more diaphragm. But yeah, that's kind of like the only way I can explain it, if that makes sense. It's like super hard to explain for me, as I said, because I don't really know how I do it. I just kind of do it. Like I started screaming as a joke as a teenager, and I just kept doing it, and now here we are touring, about to do my third tour as an artist with Matriarchs, and super stoked about that.
So what is your favorite thing about touring and your least favorite?
So I think I should start with like least favorite thing about touring. It's got to be the discomfort with riding in a van for days, long drives, like that kind of stuff. But that's like trivial, like I love that I get to travel. I love that I get to meet all these amazing people. We just went to Europe in June with Matriarchs, and so getting to go to Europe for the first time as an artist was super rad. And I think the thing I like most about touring is that you're always moving forward, like you're always doing something bigger, or that's the goal anyways, to always continuously do bigger and bigger things as you tour. So yeah, I think my favorite thing is just the growth that you get from touring as both an artist and as a human being. Like I've learned so much from being on the road, both as an artist and as a content creator.
So what was your idea when you came out with I think verbatim your words is a hardcore country album?
Yeah. So I put out a solo record called Hick Goes Hardcore. I've been putting it together for a year. And the reason I wanted to do that, so I've done like Rap Goes Metal. I've done a Rap Goes Metal album. So I tell people that Eminem raised me more than my parents did.
Okay.
So I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop music, but before that, so I'm from Oklahoma originally. So I grew up, riding horses, showing horses, going to country concerts. My first concert ever was George Strait. So
Really?
yeah. So a year ago, dang. So a year ago, I was like, dang, I really want to do like some country covers, but I feel like I should do a whole album. And then in December, I ended up moving to Nashville. Like it just, kind of on a whim. All my friends moved to Nashville during COVID. And so last December, I decided to kind of follow suit. And so I came out to Nashville and super excited about being here. And that album just kind of came out at the perfect time. It actually accidentally coincided with Ghost Killer Entertainment's Country Goes Metal album. So it's kind of funny that we both put our albums out literally the same day, like to the day our albums came out at the same time.
If you don't mind, I'm going to show a little clip of part of it.
For sure.
Then I saw you did vocal challenge.
Yeah.
I'm going to play everybody a little bit of that too. It's a really amazing song, and you did very well.
Thank you.
Dark matter swirling all around me. I feel like this water's trying to drown me. Yeah, I keep on trying to reach the surface for air. I can't see the forest for the trees now. I feel like the world is letting me down. I looked around for an end, but there was no one there. Bitter and broken, I'm fucking bored. Nothing to lose, so watch me transform. A butterfly, but with double horn.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah. So earlier when you asked me about female-fronted bands, I mentioned Rivals. That is Kaylee from Rivals. She's the vocalist, and I got to see them and hang out with them the other day. They actually played a festival that Red Jumpsuit played called I Matter Fest. It was in New York. I think it was in New York. I can't really remember where I've been. We've done so many shows.
You've been everywhere lately.
Everywhere lately. I've been home for a total of like 3 weeks this entire year.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of how my schedule's been. But
amazing.
huge shout out to Rivals. Like they're on tour right now as well. And they have a tour all the way up till like the end of October. So they're out for a couple months, which is crazy.
Fingers crossed I might be able to see them in Teaneck. There
Yes.
might be a chance. I have to check my schedule, but that's if I'm off work, I'm gonna just show up.
Yeah, you got to go. They're incredible.
I just show up places these days. Yeah. I don't tell anybody. I just show up. So this isn't a hard question. I ask this every episode. And Last Supper scenario. Who's your 12?
Supper scenario.
Yeah, and you have to have one female there.
Oh my god. Oh wow. I don't know if I can name 12 people off the top of my head. Can I just name friends, like homies?
I mean, homies are fine. Cartoon characters, it doesn't matter.
Oh my god. Okay, so literally anything.
Like in between, just there has to be one female.
Okay. So, oh my god, I'm not gonna name 12. That's a lot. But I mean, I gotta have like.
Okay.
I gotta have like the Cheshire Cat.
You can do 6 if you want.
Okay, cool, perfect.
And we'll leave the rest of the people where they sit.
For sure, we'll go the Cheshire Cat from Alice in Wonderland because I feel like that's entertaining as hell. We gotta have. I'm gonna name some crazy things like Harry Potter.
Okay.
I would like to have the tall man from Pan's Labyrinth, the dude with the eyes in his hands, just to freak everybody out.
That's pretty cool.
I would like to have. I'm going like a scary route now because I watched Shutter Island again last night, which was nuts. Love that movie. I would have M. Night Shyamalan there because I just have questions for the guy. And then let's go with like Rami Malek, the actor that is in Mr. Robot. He also plays Freddie Mercury in the Queen movie. And that's 5. So one more. I'm gonna go with like Felix the cat because he doesn't say anything, but he's just there.
Felix the cat. That's great.
Those are my 6.
What is that comfort song you have?
Ooh, good question. So Tyler Carter has a song called Legendary or Legend. And that's like my comfort song. It talks about like how he wants to be a legend and be remembered for all these things. And like, no matter what, like just keep remembering like us, as artists. And so I think that is like my comfort song is that it just reminds me that music is forever and that somebody out there will always listen to it. There's got to be at least like one person out there that'll listen to my music forever. So that is my comfort song, Legend.
If you can make your own time capsule, what would you put in there?
I would put a penny in the time capsule because I think we're getting rid of the penny, right? But
we better not.
I mean, I've heard that we're getting rid of the penny because it's like a ridiculous amount of money. Like it's, it costs more to make a penny than it's worth.
I get that,
but we need the penny. Anyway, so I would put a penny in there because I feel like if it's gone, I feel like somewhere in the future they're gonna open that time capsule and be like, "Oh my god, this is the luckiest penny I've ever found ever." So definitely a penny in there. I would put maybe like a cool photo that I've taken. I've taken a lot of cool photos, but I definitely would put like a cool like photo print in the time capsule. I would put like maybe an iPhone in the time capsule. Just like weird stuff. I'm trying to think of weird stuff that you should put in a time capsule for somebody in the future to find. That is like sums up our time here on this planet.
Yeah.
Maybe like a Game Boy Color and like a Blockbuster card, like a member card. Throwing
That'd
it
be
way
real-
back with the blockbuster.
That'd be really interesting, though. Don't forget to rewind. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly. Oh my god. Otherwise they like fine you.
So, I know it's probably gonna be hard, but like your favorite tour moment recently.
Favorite tour moment recently. Actually that's not too difficult. So I got to spend my 29th birthday in Paris playing a show underground in this place that looked like we were in the catacombs under Paris. It was a literal cave
Nice.
in a building. And I was with my friends, my cousin flew in from Italy for it. Like it was such a cool show. The crowd was crazy and like they ended up like involuntarily crowd surfing me on my birthday, saying me happy birthday. It was so cool, man. That's definitely one of the best tour moments I've had recently. And then actually like 2 nights ago, I got to fill in for the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus on Screams because the
Nice.
singer's brother's van broke down, so he couldn't make it to the show, and they didn't have anybody else in the band that could scream. So Ronnie asked me if I wanted to fill in, and I obviously said yes because how could I not? And I think I'm filling in on these next two shows with Jumpsuit as well, which is at Hawthorne Heights. They're doing a music festival called Is for Lovers. They have this song called Ohio Is for Lovers, but they're doing like a touring festival called Is for Lovers. So like every state they go to, they're doing like, so the first one is Idaho is for lovers, and then they're doing Kansas is for lovers, and they're just kind of moving
Okay.
around the country.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. So I think I'm filling in again for them, which is going to be awesome and a nice way to warm up for my tour.
Do you have any advice for anybody that's trying to come up now?
Don't give up, because a lot of people give up right before they're about to make it, and then they lose everything, all the work, all the money, all the blood, sweat, and tears that they've put into making music or art or whatever it is you're doing. A lot of people give up right before it pops, and that breaks my heart for them, and a friend of mine recently said that they almost gave up on music, and they're so glad that they didn't, because now their band is like blowing up. So my advice is don't quit. If this is what you want to do it until you literally can't. Do it until the end of the world.
So how'd you get into ghost hunting?
So my grandparents owned a bed and breakfast in Louisiana that was a plantation house back in the 1800s. And so I kind of grew up with like a haunted house, in the family. So I just kind of got into it that way, just from being a kid around that energy. And then I started exploring abandoned places where a lot of really fucked up things have happened, like in a lot of the old asylums, a lot of boys' prisons, which are now like juvenile detention centers, but they called them boys' prisons back in the day. So there's a lot of like really bad things that have happened at those places. So it definitely carries like a darker energy. So it just kind of came with the territory of exploring abandoned places, honestly. And then I got hired to film a video for a guy that was doing ghost hunting. So I went out to an asylum in Illinois and stayed the night there, and we did some like ghost hunting there. So that was super cool. But yeah, that's how I got into ghost hunting, just by way of growing up with an abandoned house in the family.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of weird things you've seen, or?
Not really. I mean, it's more like the feelings you get when you go into these places. It's just like an energy thing. I haven't really like seen like a whole lot of things. I have seen some stuff, but not like a lot of stuff. It's more of like a feeling you get when you're in like a place you shouldn't be in, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm from New Jersey, so we have weird New Jersey.
Weird New Jersey. Yep.
So like I've been to a couple of places,
Cool.
but if you can pick 2 songs to describe you to a person, just like back in the day, remember we used to send music to people.
Yeah.
What are the 2 songs that you would pick that would? It could be one of your own. It could be somebody else's.
Mm,
So
dang.
you don't have to tell the person anything about yourself. You just send this.
Just send them a song. Okay.
Yeah, that will gladly
So,
shine some light.
hmm. 2 songs that describe me to a person.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually probably the hardest question because I listen to so much music and there's like songs I like that I want to say, but that doesn't describe me as a person. Maybe like I'm Just a Kid by Simple Plan
Okay.
would be one. And then like, I want to say like Red Queen by King 810, but that doesn't really describe me as a person. He says like I'm a shithead from a shithole, like like that kind of shit. I don't think that really describes me, but I love that song, and it's
Okay.
such a dope song. Maybe my song "Split" by my project Chasing Satellites is like a one that would describe me. Either that or I've got another one that might be better. Just any of the Chasing Satellite songs, I think, really describe me as a person. And then with Matriarchs, I kind of like write more about like movies and TV shows and society and stuff. So it's a little different.
All right, now it's your turn. You can flip it on me.
Cool. I know you said 2 questions, but I think I only have one.
Okay. Fine.
What is something you know now that you wish you knew when you started doing interviews?
I constantly do this, but not to double book myself.
Yeah, no kidding. Same.
Like I do it a lot, and I'm being 100% honest because I'll have it on the calendar and I don't scroll fully down.
Oh yeah.
So I might have one for 6 to 7, then 8 to 9, and then I'm like, oh, I have another one later on. And honestly, and I know you do podcasts as well.
Yeah.
We're going to get into that in a minute. My hardest part about the podcasting part is coming up with new questions all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to keep using the same ones over and over again. Like, anybody that wants to do a podcast, that is probably going to be your hardest part.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I have like the same list of questions. It just like grows. It just gets longer as I go, So I totally understand that. It's hard to find like new questions, especially when you think yours are so good and like cover everything. But there's always like something else that you could think of, So I totally get that.
I normally think about it after the fact.
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm going to write this down, but I can't use that until next Wednesday.
Yep, exactly.
So what is your favorite place to play? Like, do you have a venue that's just like, it warms your heart every time you go to?
So my favorite venue in the entire country, in America, is called the Machine Shop. It's in Flint, Michigan. And it's like one of the coolest venues. I have like a sweatshirt from there. It's the only venue I've ever bought like their merchandise from. Everybody came up there, Slipknot, name a band they played at the Machine Shop. I have yet to play at the Machine Shop. I've been there on tour as a crew member, but I've never played there, and it's like on my bucket list. And then another venue, there's one in Manchester called Satan's Hollow, and it's a round stage in the center of the room. So people like stand like 360 degrees around the stage. And there's a giant statue of Satan with his arms stretched out across the entire venue. It's insane. It's the coolest.
I have to see it. That's great.
Just look up Satan's Hollow. It's like the sickest venue ever. But I, again, haven't played there. I've been there as a content creator, so getting to film it was super cool. But I would love to play at that venue as well. So yeah, definitely the Machine Shop and Satan's Hollow in Manchester are my two favorite venues in the world so far.
Is there anybody that you're dying to do a feature with?
Dying to do a feature with. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. Will Ramos from Lorna Shore, Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box, Tyler Carter from Emerald Royce. I would love to get like Halsey on a song, Ollie Sykes from Bring Me the Horizon.
That would actually be really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Halsey on a song.
Yeah. Halsey would be sick. She listens to metal music. I'd love to do a track with Billie Eilish as well. I think that would be cool.
That would be amazing.
So yeah, Billie, hit me up. Let's do it.
Hopefully she's watching.
Yeah, hopefully.
You never know.
Yeah, her security guard's a homie of mine, so maybe he'll pass this on to her. We'll see what happens.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
So what's on your bucket? I know you said to play there, but what's on your bucket list that you can probably achieve by the end of the year?
By the end of, I'll say by the end of next year, because this year is almost, it's already booked and it's already almost over. So I would love to do like a Danny Wimmer Presents festival, one of those. I would like to play like Incarceration or like Not Fest would be cool. The Not Fest Roadshow with Slipknot would be sick. I think just like bigger festivals, because we've done like a small festival. One of our first like big shows was at a festival in Florida that ended up getting canceled right after we played. So like we got off stage that night and the rest of the bands for that night played, and then they canceled the rest of the festival, which sucked. So it never really got to like be a thing. But yeah, I think next year our goal is to play a bunch of like big summer festivals. I'd love to do like Shiprocked, which is like the metal cruise. That'd be super sick. I'm going to be hopefully on that next January as a crew member, but I would love to play it as well. Yeah.
Who are your top if they come into your town that you have to see live?
So I'll say the top that one of them I already saw was Billie Eilish. Her show was insane. It was absolutely like one of the coolest shows I've ever seen. Just as like a solo artist, it's her brother Phineas, and a drummer on stage. There's 3 people. That's it. But they played to an arena and it was massive, So yeah, Billie Eilish, great live. Top 3 if they're coming to my town. 30 Seconds to Mars, gotta go. I have to go. 100% have to go see them. Anywhere they are, if I'm near and they have a show, I'm literally going. I remember when I was a teenager, my dad and I traveled. We lived in the Middle East, but we flew to Spain, to Madrid, Spain, to go see 30 Seconds to Mars. Like, I love that band so much. Yeah, I love them so much. And like my dad loves rock music as well, so anything like that he's super into. And then the last one would be Rain City Drive, formerly known as Slaves, but they now go by Rain City Drive. If they're coming through town, I'm gonna go to that show no matter what. If I am on tour and they play in the town, I'll cancel my show and go to their show.
Really?
Not really, but like maybe. I'll consider it.
Are you a lawn person or a seat person?
I am a lawn person. Actually, I'm a side stage person. I love being side stage when the homies are playing, but like if I'm like going to like a big arena show, I'm on the floor. I'm on the floor.
So GA all the way.
Yeah.
It depends on the venue. I'm normally lawn if it's PNC Art Center, Homedale, New Jersey. I'm normally lawn. I'll get a seat if weather permitting and what the upgrades are. Yeah. I always get lawn first and then see how I feel that day. But
yeah, for me, if I'm not like shooting a show, if I'm not taking photos in the photo pit, then I'm on the floor somewhere. I don't like being up in like the rafters or in the seats super far away. I gotta feel it. I gotta feel the crowd around me,
Like I was just at Rob Zombie, Mudvayne not Five Finger, sorry, Power Man 5000.
Yep.
Yeah, the pit erupted. It was fun. It was.
Yep.
I wasn't in the pit. I made sure I wasn't in it. But
Sure.
those days are over for me. I'm not. But and this is a very hard question here. If you could change one thing in the industry, what would it be?
Oh my God. Royalties, the amount we get paid out by like streaming platforms, probably. Because I feel like it's so fucked up. I feel like we don't get paid what we deserve. Like the amount of money we put into our music doesn't come back right away unless you're getting millions and millions and millions of streams. And a lot of us up and coming artists aren't getting millions and millions of streams. So we're dumping a ton of money into production, paying producers and engineers and all that stuff, and then you turn around and you get like a penny for every 500 plays or whatever the metric is. So I would definitely change that. If I could change anything about the industry, it would be royalties.
So how does those royalties work?
You're gonna have to talk to somebody that works in royalties because I have no idea.
Okay, no, I always wondered myself because I don't know how. I mean, looking at analytics and everything else, it's just like my head hurts at the end of it.
See, I love analytics. I love looking at statistics and analytics and numbers, but like to explain to you what they mean, like I can't really do that. Like I don't really know how to like break them down and tell you like what they mean exactly. So
All right, fun question here. Who's your favorite Disney princess?
favorite Disney princess. Favorite Disney princess. I mean, like Mulan. She's not like a princess, but like she's a badass. So I would say if I had to pick any female Disney character, it would be Mulan for sure. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
Okay, the live action one or the cartoon?
Cartoon, all the way.
Okay. If you could pick one of your songs to be in a movie, what movie would you think it would fit with?
I just finished a song called Space Hero, and I want that to be in a movie so badly. I'm working on getting it licensed for a TV show that I'm actually participating in as an actor or as a contestant, really. It's a competition show. And I talked to them and I was like, yo, do you guys have a theme song for the show? They said no. And I said, okay, I'm going to write it. So I wrote the theme song for this TV show. So hopefully they pick it up and use it for their show. It's a dope ass song. I'm super stoked on it. And it sounds amazing. I worked with this awesome producer named Andrew Bayless here in Nashville. And he's worked with, he's Jelly Roll's producer. He works with Sleeping with Sirens. He works with Varsity. He works with a bunch of different bands. He just did a song with Rivals actually. But yeah, we worked on this song together and hopefully that gets picked up. And if the TV show doesn't take it, my homie has a comic book series that he's animating, and he said he'll take the song. So
that's awesome. Either way, win-win.
Exactly.
So, what's your writing process? Is it things that's happened to you, or is it stories you were told that you just tweak, or dreams, or
yeah? So it's a little bit of everything. Like I get sent like an instrumental. And then my, bandmates will either give me a theme to write about, or if I watch a movie that I really liked, I have a bunch of songs about movies and TV shows. Matriarchs has a song called Bitch Wolf that's about Ruth from the Ozarks. And we've got another song that my drummer actually sent me like a YouTube video. He was like, watch this YouTube video. It's basically about how like society's falling apart and like we're being force fed all these like all this bullshit all the time. So I wrote a song about that. Chasing Satellites, I have a new EP I'm finishing up. I have 2 songs about the show Mr. Robot. So yeah, like cinema inspires me greatly to write music. So there's a lot that's like that's movie and TV show based, just because like that's how I consume my content. I love TV shows and movies. because I'm a filmmaker as well. So I always find inspiration through that. But otherwise, stuff that's happened to me, stuff that I've gone through. I have a song that I wrote about my brother, like my brother. I used to think my brother was possessed by the devil when I was a kid because he used to talk to himself, and I didn't understand what autism was and ADHD and like all these things that my brother struggles with. I didn't understand what any of that was, but I grew up Roman Catholic, so I knew what like the devil was, more than like mental health awareness. So I literally thought my brother was possessed by the devil. So I've written songs about that as well.
So when do you air your podcasts?
So I have 2 podcasts. One is called Project Freelance, and I usually post that every Monday, but it's hard to schedule that one. It's getting harder, and I've done over like 150 episodes of that show, and every week it's a different guest that freelances in some capacity. So it's getting like harder and harder to ask my friends to be on it because I've asked all my friends. So now I'm having to reach out to like people on Instagram that I follow and like other creators and things like that. People get recommended to me sometimes. So that one's kind of like whenever I get to it. My other podcast, No Tracers, is every Friday at about 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. It kind of changes, but it's around that time. Every Friday it comes out. And that one's easier because there's a million urban explorers in the world. All I have to do is go on Instagram and type in like hashtag urban explorer and then DM a bunch of people and ask if they want to come on the show. So that one's every Friday. I've done that one consistently throughout COVID. I actually started it during COVID for something to do because I didn't know if I could go out and go exploring because we didn't really know what this virus was. So I started it during COVID and I've kept that going. I'm about to hit episode 100 and I'm super excited about that. So yeah, those are my 2 podcasts and when they come out.
So what's your favorite part of filming?
I mean, I think everybody's got a story to tell, and I love being a part of the storytelling process, capturing content and getting interviews and then piecing everything together like a puzzle. I love putting a puzzle together, especially through visuals. So like with the Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, I'll film for an entire tour with like whatever the theme is. So like we just finished a tour called the When We Were Emo tour. So we did like a bunch of like emo activities. Like we went to like a horror themed diner or like a restaurant. We went to a voodoo shop. We like an oddities and voodoo shop. And then we did like some like, scene or like darker things, to do that. And then I'll do the interviews after the When We Were Young festival, actually. That's coming up in October because Red Jumpsuit's playing that festival in Vegas. So I'll film interviews there with the other artists on that festival. Like Bring the Horizon is going to be there, same with Sirens, Pierce the Veil. So I've been reaching out to my friends that are in these bands to see if they want to be a part of this interview process so I can get like snippets and then I'll put that part of the story together afterwards. So yeah, it's just like creating a bunch of B-roll content and then getting the story and then piecing it all together. I love the piecing of the puzzle.
So what editing software do you suggest?
So I use Adobe Premiere. I've used Adobe since I was in film school. So it's been about a decade since I started editing in Adobe Premiere. I started in a program called Sony Vegas and I hated it. And then I tried Final Cut, didn't like that, and then moved over to Adobe. And I love the Adobe software just because there's so much more than just like video editing. They also have Adobe Lightroom, which is for photos, Photoshop, a bunch of different things within the Adobe suite that I utilize every single day. So definitely Adobe products if people are needing recommendations.
What if you could be any object in the world, what would you want to be?
Maybe like an LED light that changes colors. If I could be any object in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like my room is like full of LED lights and panels and stuff. Like I love I love LED lights. So I guess if I could be any object, I would pick an
Yeah.
LED light that changes colors. Because you can set the mood with a light, you know? I love that.
So, what was your dream job as a kid?
Honestly, I wanted to be in the SWAT team. I thought it would be so cool to be a SWAT team member and like bust into buildings and like save people and like rough people up and shit. You know, I really wanted to be in the SWAT team. And then I moved to the Middle East and I was like, I kind of want to pursue like photography and filmmaking. And now I do my dream job. I am a musician and a videographer. That's what I do. You know, I'm literally actively pursuing my dream job, which is sick.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be, and what would the side effects be?
Superpower, I would want to fly. And I don't know what the side effect would be. Maybe that I just like can't not fly. Like I'm always flying. Fly too fast, fly too close to the sun.
What can you do today that would bring you back to being a kid?
Oh.
Like would make you happy? Like,
I mean, it's like a simple thing. Like I did it earlier. I had like a bowl of ice cream. Like that brings me back to my childhood for sure. Like, or like watching a kids show like SpongeBob SquarePants or like the Jetsons, something like that brings me way back to childhood.
speaking of the Jetsons, I could be wrong, but his George Jetson's birthday was a couple days ago.
July 31st, 2020 was the day George Jetson was born. So that means 35 years from now, I better have a hover car.
Yeah. Yeah, so what were your Saturday morning cartoons?
Definitely SpongeBob. Definitely Ed, Ed and Eddie. Yeah, that was a good one. Love that show. Rocket Power was just like after school every day. Was Rocket Power.
Okay.
But it's definitely Saturday morning cartoons were like Ed, Ed and Eddie. That's probably the main one, actually. My brothers and I would watch that together, actually. So I would say that one and like maybe like I'm trying to think of like morning cartoons, but that's the only one that like really comes to mind is Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, we were more of like Thundercats. Hero.
Yeah, you guys had Thundercats, like Popeye probably.
Yeah, I'm a little bit older. Yeah, we had, what do you call it? Thundercats. We had G.I. Joe.
Yep.
And then like midway through the day was wrestling and
Yep.
all that cool stuff.
Yep.
What would you want to bring back from the 90s?
Ooh.
It could be food. It could be anything.
Dang. What would I want to bring back from the 90s? Oh, the lemon Jolly Rancher. Where the fuck did that go? They used to have a lemon flavor.
Yeah, they still do.
Where? Send it to me.
I will.
Please send me a bag of lemon Jolly Ranchers. I think you can only get them on eBay and they're like $30 for a bag.
Well, they have, what do you call it? The mixed, what do you call it? In the bags, it's mixed, but there's lemon in there.
There's no lemon in there, dude. I literally have a bag of Jolly Ranchers in the other room. There's no lemon in there. It hasn't been since the 90s.
Okay, if I find lemon Jolly Ranchers,
Send them. Send it.
I will send it out. I thought I was the only weird one that like.
I love the lemon Jolly Rancher.
Like anything lemon. Like I mean, same thing with Starburst. I grab the yellow ones. I'll give the rest of them away.
I eat the lemon ones or the yellow ones first, and then I eat the cherry ones last because those are the best. I think.
So, do you have any messages for your fans?
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I think I kind of touched on it earlier, but like, don't give up on your dreams, man. Like, don't give up too soon. Otherwise, like, what's the point of putting in all that work? Once the snowball starts rolling down the hill, it's hard to stop that snowball. So just keep working at it. Keep busting your ass, and you'll eventually make it and make your dreams come true, man. I mean, I'm living proof of that. I've been doing music for 10 years, and I'm just now touring as an artist. So keep going.
What was that moment that, like, I'm gonna say the holy shit moment that, like, this is actually happening?
Definitely that festival in Florida I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
That was a holy shit moment because we got to open up for POD, and I
Okay.
grew up jamming POD, like Youth of the Nation, all that stuff. So getting to open up for them on a festival stage was insane, absolutely insane. And then the other holy shit moment was flying over to Europe for tour and getting through customs and not having any problems. And you know, that was definitely a holy shit, this is actually happening moment. I think every show is a holy shit, this is actually happening moment. Every show.
When you're on a festival, and do you actually get to meet other artists? Like, is there
Yeah.
a way of doing that without, you know, without security problems or?
Yeah, I mean, if you have an all access pass, you're pretty set to meet anybody you want. You know, there's usually like a shared green room area with like food and catering and things like that. So, I mean, if you want to meet somebody, they're probably going to be in there at some point in the day. Definitely with that all access pass, we call it a God pass. You know, you can go anywhere, so you can pretty much do anything you want. The only thing I'll say is like advice for young artists: don't just like walk onto a tour bus ever, like without
Oh, no,
permission.
no.
But some people don't know that. But I mean, it seems like a no-brainer. Like you wouldn't walk into somebody's house, you know, you'd knock first, you know. But I mean, some people are just too excited and don't think, and then they just do stuff, and then they get in trouble for it, and then they get banned from shows. So yeah, definitely don't do that.
Best way not to get blacklisted
Exactly.
is to knock first.
Exactly.
So, what else is going on in your life right now?
Just a whole lot of touring, man. A lot of touring, a lot of being away from home. I'm excited for November and December because I will be home for a couple months, and then back out in January to hit it hard next year. But this is the most that I've worked ever, or the most I've been like consistently like doing something. Because I freelance, but it's always been like staggered. And then with COVID, everything was kind of weird. Did a lot of editing, and then now this year I've been on tour almost the entire year, you know. So it's been a crazy time, but I'm super grateful for it.
So, I see you're in a gaming chair. What's your game of choice?
Dark Souls.
Okay.
Dark Souls for sure. But this is also my editing chair. It's very comfortable for like sitting for long periods of time. That's why I got this one. But yeah, game of choice, Dark Souls for sure. Absolutely. Or The Last of Us. I love both of those.
I'm a fighting nerd. Like, I literally love any Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter or.
Who's your Mortal Kombat character?
Depends on who I'm playing against, but normally Sub-Zero or Scorpion, one or the other.
Yeah, you got to pick one of the bad boys.
Yeah, I remember, you know, all the buttons for them. And
exactly.
all the buttons for, what do you call it? If I play Street Fighter, I'm always Ryu, so like.
Naturally, of course.
It's always a debate.
Yeah, no, for sure. But Ryu is dope.
Okay, the biggest debate I have every year is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, without a doubt. It's a Christmas movie. I don't care what anyone says.
What about Nightmare Before Christmas?
That's a Christmas and a Halloween movie.
So, like... It's
both. Watch it all year. Every day is Halloween.
Are you excited that Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out?
I just hope they don't fuck it up, because sometimes they really just mess up a sequel, you know? But yes, of course I am. I loved Hocus Pocus.
What is your favorite sequel?
Oh, favorite sequel. Wreck 2. There's this Spanish horror movie called Wreck. And the
Okay.
second one is crazy. So probably Wreck 2. Super good. And very scary.
I have a funny story. I was, we're going to go back to Blockbuster here. I actually saw Terminator 2 before I saw Terminator 1 because Terminator 1 was sold out.
So you got the second one?
Well, my grandmother did, yeah.
Amazing. She was like, "We're watching this." You're like, "Wait, what is happening?"
Exactly. I had no
What is going on?
We saw the first one. We saw the second one before the first one.
That's hilarious.
But I do want to thank you for your time. Because I know
Absolutely.
you don't have that much time to do anything these days. And it's a
Fact.
pleasure meeting you and pleasure you coming on. Where can we follow all your shenanigans?
My shenanigans are available on the internet. If you follow Kay Inagonio, or actually, you can just go to beacons.ai/just the letter K, and that will give you like all my social media.
So it's
yeah.
pretty much like a Linktree.
Exactly. It's Linktree, but cooler.
Cooler than Linktree.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you also on Bandcamp as well, or?
Yes. Matriarchs has music on Bandcamp. I have solo music on Bandcamp, and Chasing Satellites is also on Bandcamp. So.
And all the merch site is on there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you again and have a lovely night, whatever left of it.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
This is going to be on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Yep.
And hopefully I'll cut some of this and put it on TikTok later.
Cool. Tag me.
I will tag you and everything.
Perfect. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.